Hello, folks. Welcome back to the Limited Potential Podcast. We got old Scratchy Eye here. Drake
Good old itchy eye.
his good old itchy eye with his contacts. He reuses contacts. Those contacts that he's using right now are from I think
I've had them since 2010.
2010.
Yeah,
See,
yeah,
I was
2010.
close.
Yep,
I said 2007,
yep,
so
yep,
I was
yep.
close.
No, he knows. No, the 2007 were a trial pair that I found outside.
So they're basically dry rotted. They're not even really contacts anymore. He's just looking through blurry screens at this point. They don't even work anymore. But yeah, so
honestly, I can't see anything at all anymore. My eyes are gone.
Which is a good
So
segue into our episode about seeing, Drake. Seeing
is believing. Is it believing?
Seeing
or is it not believing?
Seeing is believing, I think, in this
really quick for you though. What would you see that you wouldn't believe?
Oh fuck. That's a good question. I think I was speaking to a colleague the other day about this. I think ghosts. Like you and I, if we straight up were in an asylum and watched like a ghost walk across the walkway, I'd be like, okay, like what, like, is it my eyes playing tricks on me? Was there a little bit of fog, maybe some dust? Like, it would be very hard for me to digest that I just seen an actual spirit walking across, you know what I mean, like a hallway or like
Yeah.
your
No, I think that's a great answer, actually.
Your quintessential white ghost. I'm like, what? That was that? You know,
Whoa.
It would have to be like video. Like I'd have to be like have a video camera or something with me that actually shows it going across, so I could like rebuffer it.
Yeah. Even if it wasn't like just like the white outline, I wonder even a shadow figure, I think I would you know what I mean? I think I would just question hard.
Well, it goes back to everything that we try and do, which is a great segue once again to this episode. It's everything that we try and disprove. You know what I mean? You and I
real quick though, I'm gonna segue us back away from tonight's episode and ask you a question. What's your favorite kind of pizza?
Meat lovers all day long. Meat lovers all day long, and that is not a gay joke. That is meat lovers all day long. I love put some bacon on there, some ham, some sausage, pepperoni,
some
dick. Just now wait a minute. If you're gonna eat a dick on a pizza, would it be along the top or straight through the bottom, sticking out?
I remember ordering some pizza with sausage. If you guys know that quote, you're gonna get a high five.
Can you imagine if like the guy who does, like, you know, you've seen like the pornos where the guy's hiding like his dick in the box.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
The guy doesn't realize he's got his dick through the pizza box or whatever, and then I just bring on a roller and start going.
Yeah, right. It's just hot out of the oven and just the sausage burns. You know.
Yeah, you got that giant roller knife and just oh my god, it's still wiggling on there.
Yep. All right, now to segue it back into mine's just standard pepperoni, double pep.
Yeah, I mean, how can you go wrong? I mean, it's
yeah, you know, I just like the OG double pep.
No,
but we're gonna segue it back into our. Nope. We're gonna ignore your last post. Yep, we're gonna ignore that last.
I need to know a question though. Do you prefer? This is gonna be a tough one for me. Do you prefer soft pepperoni on your pizza or like crispy hard pepperoni on your pizza?
What the fuck?
Like, do you like the pepperoni like if you get your pizza from like
soft pepperoni?
Yeah,
what the hell what kind of pepperoni do you eat, dude?
If you get your pepperoni from
you want flaccid pepperoni, Lucas?
If you get your pizza from Domino's, I find that your pizza from Domino's more often than not, it'll just be kind of like not
the cup and char. I highly enjoy the cup and char.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That is my like.
I know what you're saying. I was just picking on you the entire time.
So stupid. The crunch is the best, I think, for pepperoni.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
When you go to Domino's, it's just a flat disc on top that just tastes like pepperoni. Like there's no redeeming qualities about the pepperoni itself, other than like it's just there as a pepperoni. It's a
good standard pepperoni. Yeah. If I were to go to Domino's, I don't get pepperoni though. What I do get from Domino's actually is I build it myself. I do a nice garlic Parmesan base.
Okay.
Then standard mozzarella cheese on top. Then premium chicken, and then drizzle some buffalo sauce on that thing, dude.
Okay, see that's you're pretty close to where I was going with that. Domino's makes a mean chicken Alfredo pizza. So I get
Oh, it's very similar then.
yeah,
Yes,
exactly. So
I just make it a little bit more wacky and wild
yeah,
with some
yeah.
wacky arm-flailing, inflatable arm-flailing tube bend.
Yeah, so I'll build mine by itself with a chicken Alfredo pizza, but then I get a stuffed crust, and that just adds. It's like you're eating a
Oh,
pizza and then a breadstick on the outside. Like it's
yeah.
fantastic.
Honestly, dude, Domino's seasoning on their bread is phenomenal,
Hmm.
dude. It's really good.
Yeah,
It's some good stuff.
their cheese bread is really hard to beat. When you get their cheese bread, it's really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
You know which cheese bread I really, really enjoy is um pizzas. Little
Yes,
Caesars there.
yes, yeah.
They're cheesy bread.
Yep.
Not crazy bread, but
Nope.
the cheesy
The
bread. The
cheesy bread.
cheesy bread is
Yeah.
delicious, dude.
Yeah.
I will fight somebody for that cheesy bread.
Nations have been fought over that cheesy bread.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, trips have been ruined because I did not get to have cheesy bread. You know.
So yeah, so seeing is believing. But
Hmm.
like you said, it's a good I don't know. I'm trying to think of what else honestly what we're going to look at here. I think I would struggle if it wasn't recorded. I think I would struggle like if I saw that in the sky, I would be like how do you how do you articulate it? You know what I mean? How do you same with a ghost. I don't know, like even in the wild, if I were to like genuinely see like a Sasquatch through a pair of binoculars or something, it's like, okay, let's try and figure out. First of all, obviously, any one of these things would freak me out, but I want to know why. Like, I want to know what caused me to feel. You know what I mean? Like, I want to know. I just want to prove it wrong, I guess. I don't know. Like you and I are along the same cut from the same cloth that we definitely want to know if something can be disproved right away. Like you said, a shadow figure. Immediately, if I see a shadow figure, I'm like, okay, did a car just drive by outside?
Yeah, was
You
that
know
a
what I mean?
car?
Was it the
Right,
car?
100%.
Was it just a change in the lighting because we crossed over into like because there's so many times where you can cross over into a different threshold and the lighting changes dynamics. Then
Easily.
it can just catch you in that right mindset and frame where all of a sudden you see something and you think it's a shadow figure or what have you. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, predominantly.
we're cutting in today. Um, a uh, a buddy of mine sent me a video. Now, he was outside. There was the Blue Jays game. Blue Jays and Dodgers were playing last Monday night, or was it Sunday night? Sunday or Monday night, where it went into extended innings. It went into the 18th
It's
inning.
probably Sunday night, I'm
I
gonna
think it was
say.
Sunday night, well into 2 in the morning. It was very, very late night for everyone who was watching the game.
Those of you who don't know, baseball games only go 3 innings. So this one 18.
Yeah, yeah, it went like quadruple the game. No, people like okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of those times, and this happens all the time between Drake and I, where Drake says something so utterly stupid that I'm speechless. Like he just says something that is just so utterly dumb that I just can't follow up. I can't follow up. I don't know how to go from there because he just wants to. Yeah. Anyway, no,
No
yeah,
matter how dumb it is what I say, it's still above him, so it's.
true, yes, which is why he's taking the exam today. No, I'm just kidding. um, so fuck, I lost my train of thought now. What was I talking about? God damn it.
It was pizza.
Oh yeah, that's right. So pizza. So Tom. No.
It was Tom McDonald.
Yeah. So it was the 18th inning. So it went late in the night for baseball. My buddy had hopped out. He is one of those ciggy smokers. So he was outside. He said roughly around like between 12 and 12:30 was around this time that this was taken. He was outside smoking and just looking up at the stars or whatever, just kind of enjoying the night. It was a clear night. And then he noticed a couple of little, stars moving across the sky. Thought nothing of it. Thought it was a satellite. We see, especially where I live. I live in a spot where it's very desolate. You can see. I hate you. Just a little. He just has to disagree with everything. Just a little head shake. Fuck's sakes. Just a little head shake.
reaction to that destroyed me.
Anyway, so yeah, so I live in the middle of nowhere, and so the stars are very vibrant out here. You can see a lot more than where you would in more of an urban area. So he noticed these lights kind of dancing across the sky, and he kind of was like, oh, that's interesting. Whatever, didn't pay no mind to it. Well, then obviously he went back to smoking and looked up again, and then seen it again, and that's where he took a video. Now I have the video here. We're gonna look at it. Drake's gonna look at it here too. We're both very much in the manner of disproving things. Now, initially with this video, as you people will see, I thought the two anomalies, or whatever you want to call them, that come from the left-hand side, I thought that they were the Starlink train. But now, when I looked into it, the Starlink train only operates when you see it in the sky. It's usually about 7 to 8 of them in a row. And they're very vibrant. They don't just, you can't just not see them. Like, they go through the sky. They're very noticeable. So that threw me off, that these things, the video that we're about to show you is about a 19-second clip, because I edited it to kind of make it a little bit shorter for everyone. On the screen, you'll see a bigger kind of pink reddish circle that I outlined where the two things are going to appear coming across the sky. The other one is a star that is down off the right-hand side of the screen. Now, we're going to look at this. We're going to go over it together to see if it's true. I haven't done anything with the video other than trimmed it down and put the circles on it so you can pay attention to what's what. But Drake and I are going to look, because what happens is you watch, and we'll replay it a bunch of times to diagnose it. The two anomalies appear in the sky and come up together. Just as that's happening, on the bottom right, that star that I highlighted originally appears to go from one spot to another spot in a fraction of a second. Like, it is very quick. So I'm going to share my screen here. We can dive into it here with Drake. And we're going to see, maybe not, let me load up this side here. Hold on one second. Let's see if we can get this to share. Share our screen. Okay, share screen. Okay, and then I am going to put this as the main. Okay, so it's gonna be a little bit blurry, but that'll work for now. You'll see what shows up on the screen itself. Okay, I am going to hit play for the first initial. I'm just gonna do a whole playthrough here. Like I said, this star here is the one that you're gonna see on your screen on the bottom right. Just kind of right by that loop button there. I'm actually gonna turn the loop on so I can keep going. That is right? That's loop. No, repeat, yes. No, okay. What's going on here? So, no, I want this to fucking, thank you. So what you're going to see right here is, this is the one that's going to move. Now, the other two that come out kind of appear, I think, along this line right here as well. So I'm going to hit play. We want to see, no, I want this to fucking play. Thank you. So right here is where you're going to see the stars, that them show up. So there they are, coming out of nowhere, and now watch this star down here. Boom, shoots across the sky. It's so...
Yeah, the two that appear and then go away, those are interesting. The way that those are moving, they're spaced too far apart to be SpaceX, and then they're also like changing a luminosity, which is super interesting. The bottom one on the right, with the way that the quality is and the lighting, it's hard to tell because we have no reference point.
Well, so reference that other star
so
right here. Reference that other star see where the two appear out of. Watch that star too. It never jarts across like that one does.
It's hard to even see that other star right there.
Yeah.
So with a difficult reference point, unless you can change the contrast maybe a little bit, it's hard to tell if that bottom star is moving on its own like a jump, or if it moved because the camera was a quick jerk to the right. You know what I mean?
And that's what.
So yeah.
I agree with you there about that. Like, I definitely agree that is a tough one because of the the actual video itself and the camera angle and everything like that. What I will do, people, for you as well, is I will post the entire video in its entirety on my YouTube channel. If someone wants to take the video off of there or do whatever, if you can clean it up, if you know any way of editing software or whatever you want to do, if you can help us figure out what is happening in the video when it comes to that bottom star moving, I'd love to know. Like I'll make it, like, basically what I'll do is I will set the video, that the full length video, I will set it to the or even this one here, I will set it to release the same time that this video does here too. Please, by all means, look at it. What's so intriguing to me though is the fact that, so my partner, kind of like Drake and I, he doesn't get phased by this kind of stuff. He'll go camping off in the wilderness by himself, all that stuff. He doesn't get phased by this stuff, but the fact that it was happening so much in the sky for him to literally grab his phone after a little while and start videotaping it is what is most intriguing to me. Those two stars right there, it's just so weird how they almost manifest, illuminate.
That one's definitely weird for sure.
Like it's very odd, the behavior, and like you don't see them come from anywhere. They just kind of appear just to the right, like the top left of that star there. They almost kind of flash in a way too. You know what I mean? They're almost kind of like they're flashing as they're going, and they're perfectly in sync speed wise. They, in terms of the spacing, that's like, it's hard to know, but like the spacing there, that's quite a distance between the two when it comes to space, distance.
Yeah,
that's not a close distance between those two.
No,
those two
definitely
anomalies.
not.
Yeah, and like I said, obviously that one on the bottom, because of the hardness of the reference points, it's very difficult to know. There's another thing here that I wonder you could do too, is if anyone can try, is I wonder if you could take the video, if you froze it, if you measure between those two stars before and after that, if that's possible. You know what I mean? If you can measure in between the two stars before those anomalies appear, and then if that anomaly did jump over to the left, like it looks like it appears to do, then obviously that distance would be shorter. So I think that would be a possibility. No, like I think that would.
Yeah, you can do a pixel measurement for sure. As long as the one star you're speaking on stays in frame the entire time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So can you see my cursor here, Drake?
No.
Okay. So yeah, I just like where
you'd have to stream your whole window and not just the application.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
But
it's so odd because that star, the star where those two anomalies appear out of, to the top left of it, it does not move when that other thing on the bottom right does. That's what's weird to me. It's like, let me see if I can slow it down here.
Well, it's not the speed that's the issue. Like I said, it's the contrast of it.
Yeah.
It's just that it's so dark,
Well, you can see it now here. See it. But you can see that other star. Okay, we're gonna let it do one playthrough here in slow motion on the other side, and then I'll bring it. I'll discontinue it and we'll talk about it. Try and focus. I can just barely see that left star where it appears out of originally when we do it. So I'm curious to see here. Like, you can see that star right now. You can see that distance between the two on there. And so they're going to come up here at a point where they're just going to show up, this is going to be interesting to see these even appear in slow motion. This is at 0.25% speed. So it's going to be very interesting to see, even at this speed, what these things do when it comes to this situation in time. I'm very curious to know. I'm really going to try and focus on that top star when those things are moving to see if it jumps. Because if it does jump, then that means that the bottom one is concurrent. You know what I mean? Like they moved from the camera. So we should be coming up here any second with these things appearing. There they come. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, now I'm watching that top star right where they just appeared out of to see if that's going to jump at all like the other one does on the bottom. Okay, it appeared to move. I think it did. I think that top star moved. So That
Yeah, it looks like the top star did move a little
the
bit.
top star does move, so I would attribute that to being just the video issue. But man, then watching those things in
Yeah,
slow
but
motion.
the definitely the two one the two that appear and disappear is definitely very interesting for sure.
I'll do it one more time in slow motion here, just so we can see it, and then I'll exit it out and we can chat about it. So you can very well see
Excuse
them
me.
show up here. Just it's such a weird way that they kind of show up. It's just like they're not there, they're not there. You don't see anything at all, and then boom, there comes the first one illuminated, and then what's weird is the second one almost okay. That's what I find so strange about that, Drake, is the second one does not illuminate until it gets to the distance the first one was already at. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
they come in and out at the exact same points.
Okay, I stopped streaming that. So that
What makes
is
it interesting.
that yeah. So I find that very intriguing that that was something that was happening so often that he was able to catch that. Now, there has been stuff talked about in the media, not really mainstream and everything like that, like that Drake and I had spoken about and brought up. What was that situation that was happening that you shared with me that we were that I was looking at? I forgot the name of that there. The
What's
um
that?
that alien spacecraft that they were talking about that you shared with me. I might have to get the name of
Oh,
that
the
here.
interstellar object,
Yeah, but there was a name for it though, a specific
Three
name.
Eye Atlas.
Three Eye Atlas. Thank you. That's what it was. Yeah. So something that it like after I had spoken with Drake about the situation here, um, he brought that up, and that was immediately something that was spoken about kind of in the media was this whole Three Eye Atlas situation where the scientists and astronomers had found this object that really wasn't tracking. It didn't make any sense. It wasn't really making up. It didn't have the generic makeups of an asteroid or a meteor or anything kind of barreling through space with its design and integrity of it with its scans. So I just found that very interesting that we picked up something like this at the time that this happened as well too. You know what I mean? Like it's something that
Yeah.
it goes to be said that when they're talking about this, and it blows my mind. Like go back 20 years ago and extraterrestrial stuff, aliens, everything was just something that was in the movies and was a joke and was not necessarily a joke, but like it was.
Is it 20 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, sure. Like go back. I was just using a frame of reference, but go back any length of time upwards of the last 5 years, and even to government officials and everything else, there wasn't much about extraterrestrials that they were willing to share or that they really made known.
It-
You know
It's
what I
definitely a
mean?
lot more serious
It's
nowadays, I'd
so
say,
more.
as opposed to
It's way
back
more
in the day.
mainstream.
There was, I don't know if you know about the Phoenix Lights at all. You know about that incident?
I would have to read up on it again, but I know that there was like a set of lights that kept appearing in the same spot like for a couple nights in a row, wasn't it, or like a
Yep,
period of time?
yeah, yeah. It's a super crazy set amount of lights, and there's actually a video you can watch of them. It's pretty interesting. But the local government didn't take that seriously at all. They even had I just want to say the mayor come out dressed up as an alien during a press conference to kind of make light of the whole situation. So it just kind of a weird feeling altogether, like as if they knew what it was and were kind of just making fun of it to like force like a negative optics about it. It's just very interesting.
What what
Um,
what are your thoughts on that incident that happened in L.A. where the police officer was conducting a stop and he had the chest camera, and then you see an object, it looks like a meteor or something comes through the atmosphere and it illuminates, and then it essentially goes on Earth, and then roughly about a half an hour later, there's a call from a Hispanic family living in Los Angeles in the suburbs, and the son, I don't know if you heard the 911 call, but the son is literally shaking to his core. He said, "We were in the
I think that was
backyard."
Nevada.
Was it Nevada? I don't. I thought it was in L.A.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was in Nevada. I could be absolutely wrong though, but I
Yeah,
think that was in Nevada.
but so
Um,
there's a Hispanic gentleman who's like, "Hey, we were working on our cars in our backyards, and something we heard crash, and there are these very two tall he described them as people, but he said there's these very two tall people who are like around us right now, like, and he was like very shaken, and then like I read into it more, and like after that incident, like the the family wants nothing to do with anyone about it. Like they are like literally like whether it's hushed from the government and like, hey, we're gonna pay you guys money, we don't want you talking about this at all, or it's like they're genuinely scared for their lives that something's gonna happen. Like the whole family won't even talk about the incident. And like
yeah.
they found in the backyard of the area, they found intense higher levels than normal amounts of radiation where the suspected aircraft had landed like on the ground, and there was like marks in the dirt like from this area like
I did look at like the overview of the backyard where it's mostly stone. It
yep,
wasn't like an actual backyard
yep,
backyard.
yep,
There's a lot of like equipment, like large like
yeah,
not
it
dump
definitely
trucks
it
but
looked like
like
construction
excavators and
place,
things like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It was a construction looked like a construction like backyard.
yep,
Where they were saying the circular footprint of the craft was, I didn't really see that. It could have easily been um,
like
a
tracks from
circular track
yeah,
from one of the cats or the skid steers that were right by there.
yeah, for
So it
sure.
was hard for me to say that for sure. I did not see anything about the radiation level, so if you saw that, that's a pretty neat thing actually. I
That's
do
what
I do
flagged
find
me the most
increased
was
radiation levels to be
yeah,
pretty interesting.
yeah,
So there were some things on that were like super interesting. Then there were things before that just like were kind of in my opinion. So there was supposedly a video that you can see the alien inside of it in the backyard, and one of them, and I watched that video over and over, increasing contrast and changing it to being negative and all that jazz to try to see what you can see, and I just couldn't make something out in that, to be honest with you.
no, and that's just it. You don't know nowadays, hey, with AI too, what's going to be doctored, what's going to be slightly misconstrued so that they can impose that kind of fear or thoughts into your mind. But I try, like you said, going back to the first beginning of this video, we try to look at the facts and like what's leading in either direction for stuff like this.
Yeah.
To me, what's the most interesting about the radiation though is like any spacecraft that's traveling like an extended period of time through space is going to have more intense radiation accumulated onto it. Like right now, like the ISS, the space station, has a pretty hefty amount of radiation on the outside of it built up from the sun's rays already. You know what I mean? It's not protected.
That's the interesting thing about like radiation. Whenever you hear these stories, you do hear about like an increased radiation level, and when people think of radiation now, you just think of it as like a singleized thing, like radiation, like oh, it's highly radioized, it's radioactive and it's radioized, radioized. It's um it has an intense radiation to it, but there's a lot of different kinds of radiation.
Yeah.
Space radiation is a very specific kind of radiation.
Yeah.
So I would like to see if they said reports there is radiation on the ground. It's hard for me. One of the things, so it is interesting when they do say that there's a higher level of radiation than normal. That's interesting. But they never say what kind of radiation
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
I would like to see what kind of radiation is being tested at higher rates than normal. Is it actually, because again, like I said, space radiation from outer space is a very specific kind of radiation because it's all coming from our sun. You have the solar winds, which are gamma, beta, and alpha rays. And those decay at certain intervals to different levels as well. And you have planetary radiation, which is like uranium, plutonium, Neptunium, and whatnot, just like that all decay as well. So when they say increased radiation, like what kind is it? Is it outer space radiation? Is it earthly radiation, or is it a non-earthly radiation? Because there is radiation that can be produced on Earth, but just doesn't really get produced on Earth. You know what I mean? Because
Well, that's where I
is
have
more man-made from like nuclear
yeah,
radiation per
yeah.
se.
Well, that's what I'm
From
saying. So like
uranium 239.
I would be curious, like you said, we're in it to disprove everything. So it's like they found higher than normal radiation. Okay, well let's dive into that area. Is that area known for having radon levels? Like, is it a higher level of radon seeping from the ground? If so, then that, oh, higher levels of radiation, but it's actually just radon because this area is prone to having higher radon leaks. Then you know what I mean? Like, it could be that simple, but they don't want to disclose the details. Probably number one, because if everyone would freak out if they do say, "Hey, it's fucking we're getting radiation that we've picked up from the specific galaxy, like 200 light years away," or "Hey, yeah, it's just radon." Like we're still gonna not disclose that because we want that mystery to be there for everyone. So, um, I'll end with this one question for you, and I want your answer because I know you think very logically. Out of the billions of trillions of gazillion stars, out of all of the situations where we have this amazing planet form, do you think we are alone?
Absolutely not.
Whether or not we are going to meet them ever, or they've already been long gone civilizations of the past, are we alone in the universe?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, yeah. I
I think it's foolish to think that
I think
we're
it's
alone
I think
in
it's
in the
naive.
universe.
I think it's very naive,
Yeah, you know, um,
especially now. Like,
just I mean, this is just going off of if we believe what everything says and science is telling us, for like astronomers are telling us, um, then we know that the universe has been around for over 13 to 14 billion years. We know there's more than one galaxy out there. We know that the galaxy has billions upon billions of stars.
yep,
We know that those billions upon billions of those stars have billions of planets. We know that those billions of planets, there are billions of planets within the Goldilocks zone. Um,
yeah,
and as we're finding here on Earth, there's life that can live not just on standard life like
yep,
carbon life that needs oxygen and water to survive, but we have life forms that we are finding that don't need that.
yep,
There's carbon based life form that doesn't need oxygen. Um, um, they're called extremophiles. Like they live down in vents in the deep ocean water, and they feed off sulfur as their main source of nutrients, just like how we get to
yeah,
use oxygen. So it's, I mean, like, there could be any form of life out there. So just to say that we're alone, and I would even go a step further and say, like, are we alone? Are we the only intelligent life in the universe? I don't think so. I highly doubt that. I mean, there's already, again, with just how many there is, just massive. There's a physicist, I believe a physicist named Sir Francis Drake, and he came up with something called the Drake equation. Um, and I thought it was very fitting. But what it is it's a specialized equation that's written out, and you have variables. It's like any equation. You have variables that you plug in to the each of those different things, and that one of them is like age of the universe, planets, stars, planets in the Goldilocks zone, planets that have a rich oxygen atmosphere, planets that like this. So you go through this whole
yep,
equation and you plug in all these numbers and variables into it, and then it gives you the amount of intelligent life in the universe. And so far, the most common ones that you get are like what physicists put in through all the different kinds of varying sets of data points, because not everything is exactly 100% in this
yeah,
field.
for sure.
You can estimate how many planets there are out there in the Goldilocks zone, but we can't have or tell for sure, because we only have the observable universe. Anything beyond that observable universe is never going to be visual to us.
Yeah, exactly.
So we don't know what's beyond that point either. So the answers to this equation are always, the lowest it's ever gotten was 4, and the highest it's ever gotten was like 600 and something thousand. And that's for intelligent life. So either way, the answer is not
Yes.
0,
Yeah,
which is very interesting.
yeah.
You know,
I found it very
which
wild.
which
Like, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, which caused him to stand up. They were eating lunch in cafeteria one day, and he stood up. He's like, where are all they?" Where is everyone? Is what he said, and that was like a pretty prominent point in physics for aliens and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
that's
very
pretty
interesting.
cool. I found it pretty interesting. Like you said, like things that can survive. Like water bears are a big thing that are in our like water bears are
Yeah,
like are a
tardigrades
tardigrades. Thank you. Like they're a microscopic. They look like a bear, but they're microscopic organisms that literally
with
don't.
6 arms.
They can just survive out there. So like, but like it blows my mind because like when we grew up, like when we grew up, even in our age, and like I'm sure the people who are older than us and stuff are mind blown. Like we were like, hey, there might be water on Mars. We don't know. Like could there be water on Mars? And now it's just a definite certainty that water was flowing on Mars at one point, and there still is water on Mars in the caps. It's just things have developed so much in terms of space, the space itself, that it blows my mind. I have one more question for you, and I want your take on this. Would you, if it was possible and you were the only person that could do it, would you, for your own sake, be launched into space? Say they had the way that you got launched into space to the end of the observable universe. Would you volunteer to be launched there, but knowing that you would never be able to tell anyone what you've seen? But you would know, like you would know yourself up until you either died, ran out of oxygen, whatever. Maybe you just floated in space until you died of old age. Would you volunteer to do that so you could see for yourself?
Like, am I going to be in a ship
Yeah, say you're in a ship and like you'll just die of old age at
by
one point.
myself?
Yep, by yourself. But you got
So
launched
I'll
in.
be the so I'll be just alive, like so I'll travel as far as I live, or I'll make it to the edge of the
No,
observable
you'll make
universe.
it. Like the technology would allow you, like you'd travel light years to get there. Like you know what I mean. Like you'd travel to the end and see it, but because it took so long to get there, you obviously Earth has now gone. You know, you would never be able to make it back. You know what I mean. But you yourself would see what's out there and document it for yourself, but you'd never be able to relay the message back home. Would you care enough
Probably
to?
not.
Yeah, and yeah. See, it's interesting. Like you said, that's where it
I think I would just be um as much as it would be amazing to see all that stuff. Tr- Traveling at light speed changes the visual reception of the universe. Um, First off there, and then so like what I'd be seeing would be vastly different than what's actually there.
yeah.
And then two, I'm assuming I'd be alone because you said it would be just me. So I'd be living the remainder of my 60 years of life, and that's generous, by myself. So
Yeah, no, that's fair. I
so
mean, like
I
I
don't know
said,
if I don't know if I would want to be by myself alone in outer
no,
space
like I
for
said, you could have
50 plus years.
you could have say a group of people or whatever. Like I it was just like just to know what's beyond there. Like it's yeah, I don't know. It's just it's very interesting. So we'll leave it with that. People just think about this. Like Drake had mentioned, even in the Milky Way galaxy, there are millions of stars. We're one galaxy. Past us, there are trillions of galaxies. Every one of those trillions of galaxies have billions of stars. There is just when you're, the next time that you're having a tough day or like whatever, just think about how inconceivably small we all are. And like all of our day-to-day gripes that we have with the world are completely meaningless when it comes to the grand scheme of we're just at the right place at the right time to witness all of this. Are we going to get visited by aliens at some point in our lifetime? At this pace that we're on, it's probably going to happen in the next fucking 5 years. We're going to figure them out somehow. But this, if anything to take away from this video, it's just look up at the sky once in a while because you never know what you might see or record, like what my buddy caught. So yeah,
Do you think aliens are real?
I think life. I think is it the big googly
In, in,
eyed gangly guys.
intelligent aliens.
Yes, I think, okay, this is the statement that I will put out. I think that at one point in our universe, intelligent life existed somewhere or another in another area of the universe, whether that be current or it was civilizations of past. Yes, I do believe that was that. Did they master space travel? Maybe not, but there could be an entire world out there
Do you
right
think they
now.
visited Earth?
No, I don't think there's been anything that's visited Earth currently. I would like to think so. Like I know the Roswell incident and stuff like makes you think that way. I don't think that anything has visited Earth yet because if it did, I don't think it would want to do it quietly. That's my problem. I think with how vicious you see in nature, how vicious everything is to each other. If something wants to come here, it's coming here for resources, and it's not going to do it quietly. They're not here to fucking
Well,
kill each other.
here's the problem, though. Is I mean, if you're thinking about something for resources, that's still a pretty grounded it's still a pretty grounded issue to have. When you go up into outer space, resources are infinite.
Yeah, fair enough.
So to travel to the Earth, like what resource do you think on Earth would be very
No,
important
yeah,
for an alien to
you're
have?
right. Yeah,
Get,
no,
well, like no, like tell me like what resource on Earth do you think it would be very important for an alien to have that would like they would maybe want?
well, I don't know because I can't say. Okay,
Well, let's
maybe
just go like basic resources. Just
oxygen,
think of a resource.
maybe O2.
Oxygen.
Yeah, that would be.
Oxygen, yeah. So when that's the case, you could just make your own oxygen by
That's
taking
what I'm saying. Yeah, and
a lot of the sun's radiation. Just
I was gonna say
boom, there you
crystals, but
go.
then boom,
You know,
there's meteors that are floating around that are literally just giant
there's
crystals as well.
planets that are made out of diamond.
Yeah,
Literally, there are planets that are
yeah,
literally diamond.
yeah,
Water. There's more water in our Kuiper belt than there is on Earth.
yeah,
In the form of comets. So in reality, like if are going to talk about aliens that are going to come here for resources in an aggressive manner, um there'd be no point to come to a planet that's already inhabited with a potentially hostile inhabitant, life
Oh, but
for
there's
resources that's very
yeah,
easily to get anywhere else that,
yeah.
without having to have, even if their weapons are still unable to touch you, you know, but then again, so here's how I think of it though is as humanity has become smarter, um, resources have become a little easier to obtain. Um, what has humanity shifted towards to do with like let's say these protected islands, or like when we're studying insects or different animals, we kind of like we have specialized islands in the northern areas and like above Canada. Canada has a bunch of them. The U.S. has a bunch around Alaska and whatnot. Russia has a bunch around them, that are no human, no entry zones essentially
Yeah,
to where humans can't go into
yep.
to be able to study the ecosystem there, to be able to study these animals.
Yeah, there's
We study these ants, we study these ants and we just watch them to see what they do. You know what I mean?
we
So
do to our own people. There's an
if
entire island off of
right,
Madagascar
no, it's yeah,
that's native tribes that has never had
well
human contact
it's
outside
off
of
of it's off of India, North Sentinel Island.
Yes, thank you. Yeah,
Uh,
like they never
yeah,
had,
yeah.
we do to our own kind. Like we, you know what I mean? Like
They have small interactions with us. They've thrown spears at some of our helicopters. They've killed a couple people that went there. There was a dude that went there to try to preach Christianity to them. He tried 3 times and got off twice, and then the third time he was never seen again.
yeah.
So I'd like to think he's there preaching Christianity to them now, but he's probably you know
He's a skull.
fed their stomachs.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
skull. Yeah.
But so as humanity increases and gets smarter, something that we do is more and more study, and cataloging. So if we continue that push, forward to like us, maybe when we're spacefaring, what are we going to do when we're spacefaring? If we see a planet with not anywhere near as intelligent as humans, what do you think we would probably do? I mean,
Oh yeah.
just by going off that logic, we would probably stay nearby and study them.
Okay, so that's what you think is
You know what I
happening with
mean?
us.
So well, I didn't say I'm not saying it is or it isn't happening, but I'm saying
It's a
if
possibility.
I personally think that if aliens were coming here, they'd be coming here just to study us,
That's
just
fair.
to see what we do and how we act and whatnot, especially because of like nuclear weapons. I mean, ripping atoms apart at an atomic level to gain energy is kind of a pretty a pretty universal destruction, so I don't really think there'd be anything that would really stop that from happening, so
Mhm.
that's kind of probably one of the ultimate weapons you can kind of
Well, yeah,
create. So I
space.
think,
Yeah,
even if you're an advanced civilization, the nuclear weapon is probably going to be like one of the ultimate weapons you can create, and hydrogen bomb or whatnot. People like to say there's like maybe like antimatter bombs and stuff like that, but that's not how antimatter works, so they don't know. So like, you know what I mean? So just to watch a civilization that's on the brink of becoming spacefaring would be quite interesting, because maybe that happened so long ago in their past and their records aren't as well kept anymore. So now they get to watch that happen here. And so they can maybe get clues on their past
yeah,
by watching a new civilization come about. You know what I mean? And
yeah. Fair enough.
because more than likely life imitates life in ways that it goes
Yeah,
along.
there's cycles to everything.
Yeah, so that's kind of like a thing I think about there. But there's a whole bunch of theories on like alien life and things like that. A whole bunch more stuff that we can get into, and I'm sure we could save that for later episodes, though, for
Yeah,
sure.
we'll dive into it again some more on some more of that stuff. So, um, yeah, like I said, look up at the sky. You guys might not, you never know what you might see. I mean, it's always fun even to see a shooting star or an asteroid going by too. Just look up at the sky. Just you never know what you're gonna see, and yeah, keep wearing your tinfoil hats, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
See you guys.